أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والسماء والطارق وما أدراك ما الطارق النجم الثاقب إن كل نفس لما عليها حافظ. Surah Tariq 36 in Revelation, according to an opinion, after Surah Balad. This surah, it has so many things, so many things. The timing that we have is extremely limited. So if I lose you, do not think that you are not understanding. It's because there are so many things in here. And inshallah, we'll try to take it as slowly as we can, but concentrate, inshallah. It's going to be very beneficial surah, bi'idhnillah. All of them are, but some of them are more relevant to you, especially the time you're going through and the kind of people you're seeing around. So it's going to be relevant, inshallah. Okay, just to, what is the claim of the surah? This is takhwif lil kuffar bil muhla. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives fear to kuffar, but with a respite. That the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is certain, but He gives a respite. And just to break down the surah, look at the surah, and then we'll go into the linking and so on. So the first, it starts from وَالسَّمَاءِ وَالطَّارِقِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings shawahid, witnesses on the ba'ath, on the resurrection. That indeed, verily, the resurrection will happen, like how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has got protective system in the sama, in the above. Similarly, He has got protective system for you. So how He is looking after that, similarly He is looking after you. He will bring you to accountability. Then in kullu nafsin lamma alayha hafiz. So this is the response to that. فلينظر الإنسان مما خلق مما إن دافق يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب إنه على رجعه لقادر. These are dalail, these are proofs that are from yourself. There are two types of dalail in here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talk about what are one is dalail anfusi, which is within yourself. Look at within yourself. This is a proof that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring you back. إِنَّهُ عَلَى رَجْعِهِ لَقَادِرٌ. So if you look and you ponder over yourself, you will come to this conclusion that verily Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is capable of bringing you back. So and thereafter Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives takhwif of akhirat, يَوْمَ تُبْلَى السَّرَائِرُ فَمَا لَهُ مِنْ قُوَّةٍ وَلَا نَاصِرٍ. That on that day of judgment, you will be completely hopeless. You will not have anyone to help you out. So come to your senses, basically. وَالسَّمَاءِ ذَاتِ الرَّجْعِ وَالْأَرْضِ ذَاتِ الصَّدْعِ. In here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives different types of dalail, but they are called dalail afaqi. So something which are outside of you. Look at above you. Look at this sama. Look at this the systems that's in place in there, and we'll talk about that later on. And إِنَّهُ لَقَوْلٌ فَصْلٌ وَمَا هُوَ بِالْهَزْلِ. This is now to this is like more, what do you call it? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about Qiyam al-Quran. We'll talk, when we go into the Tafseer, we'll understand better, inshallah. And I think we have already mentioned this in the previous surah. Like Allah says, بَلْ هُوَ قُرْآنٌ مَجِيدٌ. That this Quran that you have, yeah, it is not some sort of like, you receive a junk mail and then you receive a proper mail which you need to action. Otherwise, you're going to go. Yeah? Does that make sense? So this is not that you can just grab it like a leaflet, yeah, some pizza shop thing, yeah, and then you throw it in the bin without even looking at it. Yeah, it's not that kind of a junk mail. This is something that you need to take seriously. It's not a spam mail, yeah. إِنَّهُمْ يَكِيدُونَ كَيْدًا وَأَكِيدُ كَيْدًا. Allah gives reprimand to their plots and things like that, and then give them fear. And the last ayah, فَمَهِّلِ الْكَافِرِينَ أَمْهِلُهُمْ رُوَيْدًا, is the claim of the surah. Now, link it with the previous surah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in وَالسَّمَاءِ ذَاتِ الْبُرُوجِ, in there talks about the protective system that He has in the sama. Same thing, وَالسَّمَاءِ وَالطَّارِقِ وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الطَّارِقِ, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has go protective system in the sama. So this is similarity. In the previous surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about punishment that came on previous nations. Yeah, and in here is a threat to the current nations, the current people. That do not think is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is only telling you accounts, telling you punishment of previous people, it's not going to come on you. Like it has come on other people, it will come on you as well. And there are other things, but we'll leave it to that because we've got so much things to do in the surah itself. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the one who created human from the ma in the fiqh. Ar-Rahman, the entirely merciful, the one who is hafiz over everything. Rahim, the especially merciful. He will assist his friends on a day when istubla sarair. وَالسَّمَاءِ وَالطَّارِقِ, by the sky and the night comer. So these are two shawahid. One is the sky and the other one is tariq, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explained later on. And this word tariq has only come twice in the Quran. And do you know which surah it has it? Yeah, wake up, yeah, wake up. I'll ask you questions, you don't go to sleep. And the word tariq has only come twice, yeah, and it is in this surah. And people give lots of opinions what a tariq and so on. But Tafsir Sa'adi, he says beautifully that it's a generic term and it refers to all stars of piercing brightness. In here, what are they basically? These witnesses. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying that is the one who has given protection to the sky. Yeah, because this is talking about the protective system of the sama, and we will be able to discuss this later on. Similarly, he has given protection to every soul. In this dunya, yeah, the protection is that either he forgives, yeah, by giving them respite, this respite is given, yeah. So people either take benefit from it, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives, and other people, they are given respite. So this is still a protection, yeah, that maybe later on down the line they will come to their senses. If not, then they'll have another situation which is waiting in Qiyamah and the punishment that comes in this dunya. وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الطَّارِقَ, and what can make you know what is the night comer? So by saying وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ, this shows the gratitude, this shows the emphasis that even if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informs you, you will still not be able to understand its true properties. Yeah, you will always have a limitation in understanding its full grasp of it basically. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, النجم الثاقب, it is the piercing star. So this is being witnessed. This is what is being talking about. And what is piercing, you can understand from the English translation, there's the twinkling or the shining or blazing. Like you see in the cloud sometime, you see the sun that comes through it, and you see the thing, yeah, the rays in it. So this is like the thaqib, this is the piercing part of it. Or if you have a chadar, yeah, some sort of, what do you call a chadar in English? Blanket, yeah, blanket, and it has hole in it. And you turn the light on, and then you put it on yourself, look at through the holes, those things that are coming, the light that's coming through, this is called thaqib. This is what the piercing thing is. So now when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned all this, yeah, we need to, it requires us to ponder over this a bit, yeah, that where does this light comes from? Why does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mention these piercing stars? And you look at the universe, yeah, it might be interesting if you're concentrated. If you're not concentrated, it will be just a boring talk, yeah, but let's talk about it inshallah. So the stars, the lights that we see, yeah, the lights that we see, you must have heard in the schools and colleges and things like that, that some of these stars that we currently see might have been gone long time ago, yeah? Have you heard this? Yeah? Okay. So at least we are starting from somewhere positive. Now understand a bit more. You may have already heard this, but it's good to recap. Because when we ponder over the ayats of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether these ayats of the Quran itself or the ayats that surround us, yeah, this is the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is your Rabb, this is your Master, what He has created. So this is from the people whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala honors, that they ponder over the ayats of Allah. Yeah, like إن في خلق السماوات والأرض لآيات لأولي الألباب. Allah calls in these people, these are the intelligent people, that they look at the ayats of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and they make them strong in their belief of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we will look at just what is out there, yeah, to a very limited understanding. Yeah, you can, I'll tell you something, but you can go and you can research and you can understand the universe and you will be shocked. Okay, so let's understand how we're going to be talking about it. So now when the light, when it's measured, yeah, the thing that we see in the sky, how do they measure it? What's the thing, the scale for it? Who knows? Yeah, you got that. That's how they measure it. They don't measure it in miles, they don't measure it in kilometers and things like that. They measure it in the speed of a light. Yeah, this is the scale of the measure. Because if they were to measure it in anything else, they will not be able to write the numbers. Yeah, that's how huge the system would be. So let's concentrate. How much is 1 second? How long does the how long does the light travel in 1 second? Yeah, it's 186,000 miles per second. Yeah, 186,000. So this is how fast the light speed is. Yeah, so it is very fast. And now if you were to travel, what is how much it will be around the globe basically. So this 1 second journey of the light will be you traveling around the world 7.5 times. Does that make sense? 7.5. And if you were to travel in the aeroplane, it will take you around 2 weeks. So 1 second journey is equal to around 2 weeks of your journey in the aeroplane. That's how much is just 1 second of the speed. And from the moon to us, yeah, the light of the moon, to us, we see it in around 1 second. It travels between around 1 second. That's how quick it is. And how far the moon is, you can imagine, yeah? So it travels around in 1 second. So we see basically the moon live, yeah? It's like a live feed. By just maybe 1 second, previously computers, they used to have that, or now when we have football in here, the internet doesn't load. So this is just 1 second of that. Now the sun, yeah, it takes 8 minutes. 8 minutes. So you are not seeing the sun live, yeah, when you look at the sun. It is you seeing it after 7 minutes, after 8 minutes. Do you understand? And that would take around 20 years of a jet journey, the one we travel in. So it will take 20 years for us to start the journey and reach the sun in the aeroplane, yeah, the normal aeroplane, passenger aeroplane. So you are with me now, yeah? You are here. You haven't gone somewhere. So this is how far the sun is. Now, this is the star that we have. Another star, the nearest to us, yeah, the nearest to the sun, yeah, it is 4 light years away, yeah? So 4 light years away. This is the nearest to us, more than 4 light years away. But I'm just saying the nearest phrase that you can understand. So we have one sun, and the next to it will be around 4 light years away. And if you were to travel in the aeroplane to there, it will take you how long? Just imagine. 5 million years. Yeah. So you reaching that sun and finding out its true properties and things like that, dream on basically. Yeah. So this is basically what that is. So this is the nearest star. The furthest away, according to them, the one that they have found out recently, meaning, so what would that mean basically? The sun, the light that you're seeing from the star could have gone away about 4 years ago, but you will still seeing the light, yeah? So that's what it would mean. The one after it, or the furthest that they have found out so far, it is more than 12 billion years away. Yeah, 12 billion light years away. No years away, 12 billion. So the one that they have recently found out the light of it, meaning they have seen it after 12 billion years. Does that make sense? So meaning, if that light might have gone billions years ago, but you'll be still seeing it. Yeah, so that's how far some of the lights are. Now this is just a dot in our galaxy. Yeah, these are just dots in our galaxy, the one we are talking about. Our Milky Way galaxy, the one we are in. Yeah, this is home to, they say, about 100 to 400 billion stars. And we talked about 2 of them, yeah? One is 4 years ago, 4 billion is 4 years ago, and the one which we have the sun in here. Yeah, so this is 4 years and the sun. Thereafter, the one who are farther away from us, we don't know how far they are and how many they are. They are only giving estimate of 100 to 400 billion stars just in this galaxy. And how much is this galaxy basically? The disk of it, if you were to travel from one side of the disk to another, it will take you about 100,000. Yeah, 100,000. So from one, so there will be like 6 zeros. That's how long will it take you just to travel between the desk of it. I'm telling you this for a reason, yeah. This is our galaxy. The one near it, yeah, is called Andromeda. Andromeda galaxy. It's a science class, yeah, but for you to understand a bit. That is more than double of our galaxy. So it's more than 200 light years away, yeah, between the desks of it. The one next to it, near it, is called C1, and that's in the millions. That's how huge that is. And this, how many galaxies do you have in the universe? Who knows? They're in billions. They are in billions. Do you understand what's happening now? Yeah? You understood? The nearest star to us after the sun is 4 light years away. Yeah? And there are more than 100 to 400 billions in just our galaxy, which is a smaller galaxy, 100 light years between them. Then thereafter is another one, Andromeda, which is double the size. Thereafter is like 5, 10. So multiply that by this. And there are billions like that. And each of them have their own stars. Each of the stars have at least one planet with them. Like this Earth, yeah, the sun has like 8 or how many planets? Yeah, 8 planets. Yeah? Each star has its own planet. And this, all this, they say, is only 5% of what is in the universe. The rest of is dark energy, 95%. Do you understand what we're talking about here now, yeah? This is the universe. This is the one Allah subhanahu who is looking after. We are nothing. Our imagination, our sciences, our computers are nothing. They are only giving you estimate. Every time they talk about these things, they say estimate this, estimate this, estimate that. Just imagine we're talking about these things that are present in the stars, yeah? We says one of them is about 12 billion light years away. Who is going to go there and search it out? Who is going to check this out? Who is going to go back and check out how the universe started? Yeah, no one is going to be able to do that. No one can do that. This is not, just imagine, it's not possible. Yeah, the mechanism that they're going to be sending, they will be trusting that. Yeah, they'll be just checking, or maybe they're just doing the calculations basically. But in the reality, they cannot see with their own eyes, they cannot experience it. But they will still tell you this is how the universe works, and this is what your evolution is, and this is what this thing is, and that thing is, and this thing is. Yeah, and they will still confuse you, even though they themselves are confused, even though themselves they do not know what is out there. Does that make sense? So this, when you ponder over the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it will make you realize how tiny you are, how little knowledge that you have, and how huge is the universe of Allah, how amazing is His protection, how many things He is looking after, what is the capability of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Does that make sense? And this is just that we currently know very little things. Imagine what we're going to find out later on. Yeah, and there was this little picture that someone took, yeah, in the universe, and they said this has so many billions or millions of galaxies just in this small picture that was taken from the universe. Imagine what is out there. Yeah, so the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prepared, it should bring people down. This should make you realize that the one you believe in has huge capabilities. So if He is looking after all those things, yeah, He's hafiz over all that, then what about you? What about you, nafs? What do you think? Is He not capable of over you to bring you back to life, to hold you accountable? What are you in comparison to that? You are nothing. So this is how we relate it, yeah? So this is just one thing that I wanted to mention. Now we'll move on to the next ayah, even though there are so many other things, yeah? But we will leave you to that. إن كل نفس لما عليها حافظ. There is no soul but that it has over it a protector. And like we said, yeah, سنريهم آياتنا في الآفاق وفي أنفسهم حتى يتبين لهم أنه الحق. We will show them our signs in the horizons and within themselves until it becomes clear to them that it is the truth. Yeah, so if Allah subhanahu, if you were to ponder over this, and this is from, it's not, these are not some fairy tales. Yeah, you can find this information on NASA website. I haven't taken it from like Wikipedia. Yeah, do not think that way. You can check it in very proper sources, and you will come to this conclusion that this is not something light. If Allah subhanahu is capable of that, yeah, like even come in the Quran, أو أشد خلقا أم السماء, something like that. I forgot the ayah. Are you more stronger in creation? Are you more tougher, or the sama? Yeah, indeed its meaning. Do you think you are tough, or the sama, the one who Allah subhanahu has created? So you are not created basically in vain. This is the main message of the surah. That in kullu nafsin lamma alayha hafiz. Every single soul, it has a protector. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is protecting, and Allah subhanahu has got kiraman katibin looking after you. All around you, meaning you are very, very valuable. If you really understand your value, if you really ponder over yourself, you are not something worthless that you are left like this. You have a Rabb who wants you, yeah, he's calling you toward himself. He has sent you guidance upon guidance. He has sent you Quran. He has made so many things around you that you can ponder over, and then it will take you back to Allah. It is just on you. It is you who is ungrateful to your Rabb. Does that make sense? إذا كلا إن الإنسان لربه لكنود. That verily insan is the one who is lakanud, who is extremely ungrateful to his master. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in different places, أَيَحْسَبُ الْإِنسَانُ أَن يُتْرَكَ سُدًى. Does man think that he will be left and neglected? That it is not possible. It just does not make sense at all. That the one who has created all these things for this human being, yeah, look at the blessings that you have, and then he's going to leave you like this. It's just imagine about and just think about anything that you do. Yeah, you put so much effort. We're not saying na'udhu billah, Allah subhanahu put effort and things like that. We do not give that example, but it's just for you to understand. You look and you do so many things. Yeah, you do so many things. For example, those people who do hifz, yeah, hifz. So most of you will relate to this. Those people who do lots of hifz and they spend hours upon hours in the class, and they spend years upon years trying to learn the Quran and so on by heart. Yeah, and as soon as they have done it, they close the Quran and they put it in the shelf and then just leave it like this. What do you call this person? That's it. He's not going to read it anymore because he has done it. Is this person stupid or is this person clever? Yeah, it's just stupidity. Yeah, it's just not. It's completely unwise of this person who would do this. These criminals who say that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or they say there is like no master, there is no creator, there is no return to anything, things like that, yeah? We were born and we're just passing by time. This is the same attitude of these people concerning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That the one who has created all those things, he hasn't given any purpose to it. Which is just wrong. It is just not right for a person who has any source of intellect to have that kind of mentality. So this is in kullu nafsil lamma alayha hafiz. That verily Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is protector over every single soul. And there are other opinions that have been mentioned, like kiraman katibin and so on. But fallahu khayrun hafiza. But Allah is the best guardian, so we will take that. Allah is the one who is looking after everything. And there is one alim, his name is Ashraf Ali Tanwi, one of the mufassir of the Quran. He gives and he links these ayats and he says, like how during the night you see the stars clear, the brightness of it. Same thing, when this night goes over you, meaning the life of dunya is gone, on day of judgment you will be able to see clearly your a'mal. Yeah, like it will be like bright in your face, you will not be able to avoid it. Wallahu alam, but this is his opinion. Okay, going to next ayah. فَلْيَنظُرِ الْإِنسَانُ مِمَّا خُلِقَ. Ayah number 5. So let man observe from what he was created. So this is now proof from within yourself. Allah gave you shawahid, witnesses above you in the creation that you can ponder over, like we did a little bit, yeah? You can do it in your own time, yourself as well. Now look at what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created you from, and why you have so much arrogance that you deny Allah subhanahu. Allah gives you a reminder, Allah gives you a reality check in here, that what you have been created from, something which is completely worthless, something which is completely insignificant, ma'im mahin, something which does not have any value. This is what you have been created from, and then you show this arrogance to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you completely neglect, yeah, like the things we just talked about, just one thing that we mentioned, yeah, the universe. You completely neglect that, and you think you are something heavy, and you are completely different. You are not in the capability of Allah. You are not under the protection of Allah, while everything else is, like we just mentioned. Yeah. And this thing has already been talked about in Surah Abasa. That's why we're not going too much deep into it, which is from 17 to 22. Ayah number 6. خُلِقَ مِن مَّاءٍ دَافِقٍ. He was created from a fluid ejected. Yeah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives what they call it, adjective, yeah, similar to an-najm al-thaqib, a star which is of piercing brightness. Yeah, same thing. Like this is the amazingness of Quran. Like how he speaks about one thing, he speaks of another thing in a similar fashion. This ma, this water, and Allah gave it adjective, the one which is ejected, yeah, which rushes out. And dafiq is basically when water break through a dam. Basically, this is what a dafiq is, or a jug full of water. You turn it around, yeah, and the water gushes through. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us in some places what this proof in the Quran in various different places, but we don't have time to mention those. But we'll just mention the ayats anyway. In Surah Insan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the sperm drop itself. Yeah, either it's mixed with the female eggs and then it starts, or it's the food and the nourishment that one eats, and the sperm is created from various different sources. So this is where that mention has been done. In Surah Mu'minun, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the stages of embryonic life from 12 to 14. In Surah Ghafir, ayah 67 has similar. And in Surah Rum, ayah 54, summarizes everything, as well as Surah Hajj, ayah number 5. Okay, so basically all these amazing things, all these things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions about your life, how you started and how He has looked after you, yeah, it gives this sense that if this master, this designer, a being who is capable with authority, he has done all this in this dunya for you, he has given you all these stages, it does not mean that it will come to an end. It will start, it will continue to the next phase, which is ba'ath, which is your resurrection, which is happening, yeah? Which is the proof that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives. Furthermore, this one is very important. Wake up, yeah? يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب. Ayah number 7. Emerging from between the backbone and the ribs. In here, there are lots of talk. People, the science community, yeah, the doctors, they talk about this in various ways. But we need to understand a thing, yeah, a few things. Before we even mention, we will tackle that, yeah, inshallah. There is issue that people have with regards to this ayah. And you may have heard it or you may not have, but we will mention it anyway, so you can understand. One thing which is very clear cut, this deen, if you want to understand deen, if you want to understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will go back as much as possible to Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And this is where you're going to get the pure religion. Does that make sense? This is where you're going to get the pure understanding of religion, your belief concerning Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, when it comes to worldly developments, sciences, technologies, and things like that, you do not go back. This is not a requirement. You can take from the current development and you can utilize this. And this is proven in a hadith. It comes in long hadith basically, yeah, that Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to certain people when they were grafting trees, yeah, they were putting like male and female trees together in the date tree and in the land, things like that, to grow and things like that. So Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if you were to do it in this fashion, is coming in the narration, yeah, then it will be better. And they did it, and then later on the tree did not grow as they were expecting. It did not grow to its level. So when maybe Rasulullah was passing by or someone came, it's very hadith, yeah. That's why I'm saying maybe this, maybe that. So Rasulullah tells them, yeah, Antum a'lamu bi amri dunyakum. You have better knowledge of the affairs of your world. Does that make sense? When it comes to religion, you will go to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When it comes to worldly affair, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam or Quran doesn't have anything to do with it. In the Quran, there will be signs, there will be points that you can look at and understand the worldly affairs. Okay, look at the science development, look at the different things, but you're not going to be able to find algebra equation in the Quran in here. You're not going to be finding formulas. You're not going to be finding some sort of medicine, yeah, that you need to mix this and this and this, and you will be able to do Ayaz for your coronavirus and things like that. Yeah, this is not, you're not going to find in the Quran. And like you must have heard, yeah, I think Dr. Zakir Naik gives a very good point in here, that this Quran is not the book of science, yeah, but it's a book of signs. Does that make sense? You don't find science in here. You don't think this is a book of science that you're going to be finding equation and things like that. That why didn't Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mention about this certain specific point at this place and this like that, like this in the thing that we're going to be talking about later on. Yeah, why didn't it talk? How would those people at the time understand? This is one problem. Yeah, how would those people understand, and how would it be relevant to them? And maybe later on, the same formula that you think is amazing, it might change later on to something different. So with this, is the Quran going to be changing according to your imagination? Like people had loads of different science facts, things that now they have completely changed it. So what do you think? Is the Quran going to change according to your desires? Are you going to be basically cherry picking the Quran according to your understanding? No. Yeah, the Quran has a purpose, and that is that you recognize Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with it. It does not have a purpose for you to come and design some sort of amazing medicines, or design and think about some sort of amazing things in the universe, yeah, to understand your evolution, to understand yourselves and things like that. It is not about your understanding or your understanding of the world. It is the understanding of your master. If it's doing that job, then this is the purpose of the Quran. If it did not do that job, then we have a problem. Does that make sense? Are we here? Yeah. There are other hadiths which has similar meaning, where Rasulullah said in Muslim, he brings these various hadith under the same topic by saying, well, about the same thing, yeah. إن كان ينفعهم ذلك فليصنعوه فإني إنما ظننت ظنا فلا تؤاخذوني بالظن. Yeah, to nearest meaning that this was, if it benefited you, good. Yeah, to nearest meaning, for it was just a personal opinion of mine, and do not go after my personal opinion. This is one. Yeah, and in a different place, the same hadith, yeah, under the same topic. إنما أنا بشر إذا أمرتكم بشيء من دينكم فخذوه به وإذا أمرتكم بشيء من رأي فإنما أنا بشر. If, to nearest meaning, yeah, if I was to give you an order which was related to religion, you need to take that, yeah, you hold on to that. But if I gave you something from my opinion, that I am a human being like you. Does that make sense? So the job of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam has been explained, and Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam came to implement Quran. Yeah. So same thing. The Quran is not going to tell you your life, how to live it in dunya, when it comes to like which car do you need to drive, yeah, what kind of things you need to do, yeah, what kind of sciences you need to develop, what kind of bombs you need to develop and things like that. This is not the Quran is going to tell you. Is that understood? Is that here? Yeah. So now you have understood this point. Now we will go to the science part of it. We go too many science things. Yeah, this surah is so many things in it. But you guys are so moving around and you're not so concentrated. Come on, come back, come on. We can do it, inshallah. Yeah. It's very interesting, because if people ask you questions with regards to these things, then you will have problems. Yeah. So it's better that you take it and you understand it now before you are tackled with it. What is this between the backbone and the rib? Yeah, and the ribs. One basic and simple understanding that we take from this is like the back and the front of the body. So what is it talking about? The entire body, yeah? This cage where the sperm drop is developed and then it comes out. So this is simple understanding. So with this simple understanding, one can realize where they're heading. You are in this cage. This is your initial cage. You're going to be in this cage. You're going to come out to another cage called world. You're going to live in this world, and you have got a little bit of freedom. Now, if you want to remove from these cages upon cages, you need to hold on to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one which He sent you a rope. They hold on to this rope, come out from this cage. Then in akhirah, Allah will let you free. If you did not hold on to this rope, Hablullah, if you do not hold on to it, you're going to another cage, which is called Jahannam, which is permanent. Does that make sense? from cage to another cage, you have a choice to come out with this rope. If you do not, you go into another cage. Is that understood? So we go, a cage is done as well. Now the science part is that they say that this relates to, this is done by Dr. Zakir Naik and other science books. So what is this يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب according to these science guys? This is just an opinion. So the genital organs in humans, whether they are the testes in the men or ovaries in the girls, they say they start to develop in this part, which is called يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب, and then they later on descends down to its place where they are, which is the scrotum. Those people who know it, they know it, and the true pelvis. This is where these things come down to. But its original place is the backbone, and they say 12 and 11 rib. Between this place, this is where it starts developing, and then it goes down to where they are. And I was listening to Dr. Israr Ahmad, and he said that sometimes they get stuck. These things that are meant to go down to the original places, and they need to do operation. Otherwise, they're not going to be able to give children. They're not going to be able to do that. So that's what they relate to. And then even when they have reached this place, these true places, they receive nourishment and things from that same original place. And in adult life, the same thing happens to these things. They receive the nourishments and the things from that same original place. This is what, if we relate you to the science thing. But we said earlier on, that Quran is not a book of science, it's a book of science. And how would those people at the time understand this kind of situation? Wouldn't the Quran be relevant to them? That causes a problem. So it is not to tell you that this is what thing is, but you can ponder over it, you can take out this meaning from it, and you say maybe it's related to this as well. But we're not going to say this is what it means. What Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala means by that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. But we have said, like we linked it, you are in this cage basically. This is your initial place. This is where you have started. You're coming out to another cage, this world. Allah has sent you a rope that you can hold on to come out from this cage, Hablullah. And if you do not come out, you go into another cage, which is Jahannam. You can take it that way, easy understanding. You don't even have to worry about science. Now this is the natija. This is now the result. What should these evidences do that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informed you of? Innahu ala raj'ihi laqadir. Indeed, He, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to return him to life is able. And one of the Mufassir says, إنه على رجع هذا الإنسان المخلوق من ماء دافق، أي إعادته وبعثه إلى الدار الآخرة لقادر، لأن من قدر على البدء قدر على الإعادة. The nearest meaning, forget that reading everything. Like how He was capable of making you, how He was capable initially, He is still capable to do it again. He has done to you at the beginning. You came to this life. He is able to bring you to another life. So nothing changes basically. Ayah number 9. يَوْمَ تُبْلَى السَّرَائِرُ. The day when secret will be put on trial. So now this is takhweef ukhrawi. Allah gives takhweef of akhirah and informs this insan how weak you are, how ajiz you are, how incompetent you are. Incompetence basically. It's all been talking about incompetence of this human being, from the sperm drop. You did not had any choice in that. How you were created, how you came to the world, all these things. You're still not going to have any choice whether you want to resurrect or do not or want to resurrect. So no choice whatsoever. And this incompetence of your continue, which is till where يَوْمَ تُبْلَى السَّرَائِرُ, where the things will come to the day when the secrets will be put on trial. So on that day, you cannot take out your protest and things like that. That is not going to happen. There is not going to be nobody whatsoever, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will tell us in the later on. فَمَا لَهُ مِنْ قُوَّةٍ وَلَا نَاصِرٍ. Then he will have no power or any helper. So you yourself will not be able to stand up, and you're going to become a big man. You're not going to be able to do that, and neither there is going to be anybody or anyone around you who is going to be saying that we're going to be looking after John today. Yeah, we are on John's party. Yeah, we're going on strike to help John out. Freedom. Yeah, it's not going to be that kind of situation. And to take an example, yeah, how these thing works. A patient and a person who is ill, yeah, and he is a person, like there is a water jug over there, yeah, just over there near him. He is so weak by himself that he cannot get up to grab it and drink it. This is one. So this is min quwwa. He does not have any strength. And wala nasir, there are no nurses, there are no doctors around that can come and grab the jug for him and give it to him and drink, or a cup of glass. Does that make sense? So nothing whatsoever. You yourself cannot do anything on that day. That's how weak you are, and neither there's nobody around you who can do anything. Does that make sense? Totally like how this nutfa in the tummy, who is completely by itself, cannot do anything. Yeah, cannot do anything by itself. Like so many nutfas goes in and out. Yeah, millions of them. Yeah, these pounds basically. But some it doesn't. This nutfa by itself cannot do that. Allah Subhanahu has made system for it. That system needs to be there in order for it to come to existence. On Day of Judgment, there is no system whatsoever for you. For you going to be standing alone. You whatever you have done in this dunya, that's what's going to be helping you out. Otherwise, you are a helpless. Like how you are helpless in through so many situations that Allah Subhanahu wa Taala mentioned, all the way from فَلْيَنْظُرِ الْإِنسَانُ مِمَّا خُلِقَ. So all these are being helpless on the Day of Judgment. And there are other things, yeah, but we will leave it. We continue to the next part. وَالسَّمَاءِ ذَاتِ الرَّجْعِ, ayah number 11. By the sky which sends back. So there are again in here. This is the Quran is amazing, yeah, and it tackles every situation of every time. So now in here, even though we can link it to simple understanding, saying that this is the sama of the rain, which sends rain after rain after rain. Yeah, there is gaps and there is rain. So rain comes from this kind. So this is simple understanding. Everyone will understand throughout the century. But now if you want to ponder over it and understand it throughout your own, with your own lenses, you can link it with like the layers, the protection layers Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has provided in the sama. So there are like rays which is called layer, which is called troposphere, which enables the water vapor to rise from the surface of the earth, and then it become condensed and becomes rain. So this is one system that Allah has created for you. This is one sama. Then there is another one which is called ozone layers, which removes any harmful rays, yeah, which reflects the harmful radiation and things like that, ultraviolet that comes from the space, and then it sends it back to the space. And there is the another one which is called ionosphere, and there's another magnetosphere, and so on. So many layers that we can talk about. It is there for your protection. Allah has created all these systems for you. Yeah, but again, what did we say? Those people wouldn't have understood it. So it does not mean this Quran is not relevant to them. They can just simply understand the rain. Yeah, the rain comes for your benefit. It comes in abundance. It comes in stops for you to survive, and so on. Allah. وَالْأَرْضِ ذَاتِ الصَّدَعِ, and the earth which splits. In here again, we can go to science again. It's called ocean ridge. So ocean ridge, yeah, just give you very simple understanding. So they link it to that. I think in Tafseer Sa'ad, in his notes, he writes this. That you see, we said like a baseball, yeah, it has these thing, what they call it, I don't know, I forgot the name of it. These stitches, yeah, around the baseball. Same thing around the earth, under the water, the seas, floor, there are mountains that goes around the earth in the similar fashion. So they say this is like one huge crack in the earth, that it could relate to this. وَالْأَرْضِ ذَاتِ صَدَعٍ. Or it is simple understanding, again, to those people. Rain comes down, it hits the floor is opened, the rain goes inside, the seed takes it, and the seed comes out, it splits the floor again. So either the water is splitting the earth, yeah, when it comes down, or it is the seeds that splits the earth and comes out. So this is meaning talking about this survivable planet for you that Allah has created. Does that make sense? We can take it in that fashion. And again, this same thing is now linked to another science fact, which is called, okay, what is called Big Bang Theory, yeah, but we leave that. There's so many things, yeah, but we just, because we do not have time, we've got about 10 minutes left. we can't do much. And Muhammad has to go as well. Ayah number 13. إِنَّهُ لَقَوْلٌ فَصْلٌ. Indeed, it is a decisive statement. And we read the next ayah as well. وَمَا هُوَ بِالْهَزْلِ. It is not an amusement. This is the reason Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes oath. And how do we link it with the previous surah? It will make sense. Like how the earth, or the rain that comes down, and it's called ma'am mubarak in the Quran, so many places, this water which is blessed. And Allah gives this as a metaphor for the wahi, for the revelation of Quran. Like this rain which comes down on earth, it comes on earth, it hits the floor. But this earth, where it is maybe like a desert, or if it's like a rocky place, would this rain benefit? Would any vegetation, anything grow in there? No. Yeah? So what does that mean? The rain needs to hit places which can grow. Yeah? Same thing with the Quran. This Quran, it is going to be only and only beneficial for you if you are ready to take it on. نزله على قلبك. Yeah, فإنه نزله على قلبك بإذن الله. It is none but He who has brought it, i.e. the Quran, down upon your heart by permission of Allah. This heart needs to hit the right place, not your brain, where you can memorize lots of Quran, lots of information, lots of tafsir and so on. Not your pockets, where you can, mashallah, earn big bucks on it. It shouldn't be these places that should hit the Quran. It should hit your heart. If it hits that place, this is where you will be able to grow. This is where the vegetation will come. This is where this earth will be beneficial. This is where this wahi, this rain will benefit. Otherwise, you are a rocky and desert. It's not going to benefit whatsoever. Does that make sense? Is that understood? You need to be ready for Quran. Your earth needs to be plowed for the rain to hit. If it's not, then it's not going to benefit. Meaning your fitrah, your desire, your wants needs to be there. And do not consider and take it وَمَا هُوَ بِالْهَزْلِ like an amusement. Like nowadays, we go this qawali and we go this nats and these people who read Quran and those kind of noises, they do that. And then people shower money on them. And they say Allahu Akbar and so on, those things. The Quran hasn't come for this. This Quran, it requires a serious people. This Quran has come to change you. This Quran has come to take you closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Those people that are doing it, that maybe they're doing it out of ignorance, but this is not the purpose of the Quran. And there is an amazing hadith that comes and explains this beautifully. But we don't have time. But let me try to read it. It's very beautiful. The hadith, they say the chain of it is weak, but the matan, the actual thing which is beautifully coherent with the Quran, so we will take it. There is just listen to it, concentrate. Just a few minutes, like when they say 100-meter race or like 400, and the last few seconds, few meters are left, they tell you push, don't give up now, don't give up. It's already like 20th lesson as well, so be with me, concentrate. It's amazing hadith. عن أبي أخي الحارث الأعور عن الحارث قال مررت في المسجد فإذا الناس يخوضون في الحديث. He says that I passed by a masjid where people were busy in a hadith, people were busy in storytellings basically. So فدخلت على علي, I entered upon Ali. فقلت يا أمير المؤمنين ألا ترى أن الناس قد خاضوا في الحديث. That to nearest meaning, don't you see these people who are engrossed in these storytellings and things like that? So he said, Ali, قال أو قد فعلوها, that have they been consumed by it? So I said, قلت نعم, yes. قال أما إني قد سمعت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول ألا إنها ستكون فتنة. That we have heard, Ya Rasul صلى الله عليه وسلم, saying that there will come to you a fitna. فقلت ما المخرج منها يا رسول الله. We asked, what is the way out? He said, كتاب الله فيها نبأ ما كان قبلكم وخبر ما بعدكم وحكم ما بينكم. This Kitabullah, this Quran, which has the news of that which came before you, which is coming after you, and it has a just a judgment for you, yeah, a judgment between you. هو الفصل ليس بالهزل, it is the criterion between the right and wrong, without jest. من تركه من جبار قسمه الله, whoever amongst the oppressive abandons it, Allah crushes him. And look at our situation. This is not talking to some big leaders, yeah, with things, yeah. It's talking to us. It's talking to us. We have abandoned it, like how we have been crushed. وَمَنِ ابْتَغَى الْهُدَى فِي غَيْرِهِ أَضَلَّهُ اللَّهُ. And whoever sees guidance from other than it, then Allah leaves him to astray. Yeah, does that make sense? Whoever looks for guidance anywhere else beside Quran, look at every masajid in this locality, yeah, Southampton. Where do you see people talking about Quran? You will see people, they will have gathering of fazal a'mal and this and so on. Every single day it has become farad on them, but you will not be able to see people bringing the Quran up or making that as compulsory. Yeah, you will be able to see people reading Riyadh al-Salihin or different hadith book after salah. You will be able to see this. But there you will not be able to see people talking about Quran. Yeah, people will have their ways of thinking, but Quran, this meant to be the priority. This meant to be the one which meant to be put forward before any other book. The other books are in need of Quran. If Quran hasn't been put in there, do whatever you're going to do, but you look at the people, look at the environment that we have. How many people have gone astray? Yeah, you know, you're never going to bring them back with anything else. No matter what kind of missions that you have, what kind of groups that you have, there is no hidayah for you if you have left the Quran. Allah, Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says further, وَهُوَ حَبْلُ اللَّهِ الْمَتِينَ وَهُوَ ذِكْرُ الْحَكِيمِ. It is the firm rope of Allah, it is the wise remembrance. وَهُوَ صِرَاطٌ. Don't talk, get out if you're not going to be concentrated. وهو صراط المستقيم هو الذي لا تزيغ به أهواء. It is the straight path, and it is the one that the desires cannot distort. ولا تلتبس به ألسنة, nor can the tongue twist it. ولا يشبع منه العلماء, nor can the scholar ever have enough of it. ولا يخلق على كثر الرد, and it shall not become dull from reciting in much. ولا تنقضي عجائبه, and the amazement of it does not diminish. Like we are talking about ocean ridge and this thing and that thing, and where how did that is relevant at that time? These are the ajaib, these are the amazements of the Quran that we derive. And further it says, هو الذي لم تنته الجن إذ سمعته حتى قالوا إنا سمعنا قرآنا عجبا يهدي إلى الرشد فآمنا به. It is the one that when the jinns hear it, they did not hesitate to say about it, verily we have heard a wonderful recitation. This Quran. And last point, last ayah, you need to remember this. The last portion that Rasulullah have been narrated to have said. If you have got this, inshallah, you have got a lot of it. من قال به صدق ومن عمل به أجر ومن حكم به عدل ومن دعا إليه هدي إلى صراط مستقيم. Whoever speaks according to it, then he has said the truth. And whoever acts according to it, he is rewarded. And whoever judges by it, he has judged justly. And whoever invites to it, then he guides to the straight path. This is the Quran. This is what we meant to take. But unfortunately, now the Quran is only an amusement. You get it in the weddings. Someone comes in at the beginning, they read, MashaAllah, amazing recitation, maybe talking about how to cover up and so on. But in front of them, they got this thing on the head, yeah, when the Quran recitation is on, then it goes off as soon as the Quran recitation is going. So it's only an amusement. You'll be able to see these in big gatherings, yeah, you have these meetings that happens in the masajid and so on. The Quran recitation will be first, or maybe some sort of events, Quran recitation will be first, but thereafter everything will be against the Quran. This is just an amusement. This is just tricking people. This is just tricking and playing around with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This Quran that you recited, it meant to be implemented. It's not there for you to get amused, for you to get whatever benefits that we are currently getting. May Allah safeguard us. إِنَّهُمْ يَكِيدُونَ كَيْدًا. Indeed, they are planning a plan. Allah gives ajr. Allah gives a reason for Allah's displeasure and wrath on these people. Yeah, this is very much linked to the previous surah where they because this here is talking about plots, yeah, and there were the actions. So people plots first and then they implement it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about one section of their behavior in here, yeah. So this is like the behind doors, closed doors situation. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned that. Indeed, yeah, by saying innahum, yeah, innahum is meaning verily, indeed, meaning they have put 100% of their brain. They have thought thoroughly about it. They have done everything they can in the capacity. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala responds as a rebuke. وَأَكِيدُ كَيْدًا, but I am planning a plan. Do you see there is innahum in here? There is no. Yeah, so what it says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not need to do anything. Yeah, He does not have to, like we talk about in Abraha, yeah? Remember Surah Fil, how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroyed their plans. No amazing things needed. How look at all these criminals, yeah, that have gone past. Majority of them were destroyed with something that they consider to be extremely fragile, yeah, like rain, like water, like wind, yeah, or just normal cries and things like that. They became lethal. Or those, Ashab al-Fil, those things that came, okay, on them. Everything, those things which you consider to be for your protection, for your safety, they will become destruction. They will become lethal when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will. So He does not need to go through any religious plannings, business plans that we have, yeah? Na'udhu billah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is free from that. It will come to you suddenly. And there are various ways that we can explain this, that how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroy people's plan. One, when people plan and do things, yeah, they sometimes do it out of arrogance, ignorance, yeah, ignorance. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reveal Quran, you will come to Quran, you will understand Quran. Maybe someone tells you things in the school, yeah, you receive these questions, you get doubts and so on. What do? You come to Quran, you understand Quran, you understand your religion. So وَأَكِيدُ كَيْدًا. This is the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala dealing with those people. Does that make sense? So you fight ignorance with the knowledge. So this is one way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reveal Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will inform them, their plans will be destroyed. This is one. Another way is that you getting oppressed, like nowadays, people getting oppressed and so on, and then they are put on news, they are put on newspaper and so on. So this is your publication to the people, that there are such type of people are present as well. So people will research on you. Like you must have heard, yeah, there are people who come out on a mission to defame Islam, yeah, then they start to do research and so on, and then they become Muslim. Have you heard this? Yeah. Why? Because this is that you want them. You push so much pressure on people that people now they have to think and they need to maybe fit in. Okay, so it affects basically, like your evil, maybe something evil about you has been spread around the country. Like we said, a coronavirus, yeah, or the hijab girl or woman that was put in there. So people will look at them. Maybe someone hasn't heard of this kind of culture, and they'll look at what kind of picture is this, yeah, and then they will research about it and they will find out. So you have kind of, even though you're doing something negative, but you have done something positive for Islam. Does that make sense? This is one. Another one is like you see, one is oppressive group and the other one who are getting through oppression. Both are normally in minority in a country, in a place, but there are a silent group that are watching everything. They are absorbing everything. They are looking at the oppressors, that why are they doing this crime, and they're looking at those weak people, why they're going through this. They will have soft spot for the weak one, yeah. They will definitely have that, because humans have this capability. Even though they might be on the wrong side now, but they will be hesitant in doing that. As soon as opportunity comes in to side with the weak, they will go to them. Does that make sense? So because the silent group, they are watching and they're absorbing all those things. Maybe they are standing in the middle, but as soon as they can find an opportunity, they will go and side with the weak. They will never side with the oppressors. Yeah, this is just the norm of human beings. And there are further many other things. How the thing comes. We'll just move on to the next time and finish, inshallah. فَمَهِّلِ we go 2 minutes extra, 4 minutes extra. فَمَهِّلِ الْكَافِرِينَ أَمْهِلْهُمْ رُوَيْدًا. So allow time for the disbelievers, leave them a while. Like we said of a dog, yeah? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let these people on a big leash. Let them run and fast and thinking that they have been escaped, and this leash will come to an end and there will be a sudden jerk. They will be like flipping, like how the dog flips, yeah? Same thing. It will be this situation of these dogs, that they are doing whatever they are doing, they do not come to their senses. This same situation will happen to them in this dunya as well as definitely in the akhirah. So this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving them a respite. And by this saying to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you give them respite. Where was this surah revealed? Makkah. Was Rasul sallallahu had big huge army? No. He was weak in numbers. He was weak in companions. But still Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam being informed that you have patience with them. What does that show? That Rasul is being empowered. That the dua and the call of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not something light. That what Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam has is not something light. He might be thinking he is weak in numbers. Same thing with this da'i, the person who is holding on to Quran. He might be sitting alone. He might be weak. He might not have much. He might not have many friends around him. But do not think that this guy is something light. He is a world by himself. Does that make sense? This message is being given out. And another message in here is that if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is having patience with them, you will have patience with them. Does that make sense? If Allah is doing it, you are His servant, you will do the same. You will go through this oppression, you will go through these difficulties, but you will remain with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will trust Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You will trust His wisdom over your wisdom, over your wants, basically. You want their destruction, you want them to be annihilated? No. You will trust what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has kept for them in the future. And what is going to be your work? This has been described in the next surah. That you will wait, you will go, let them do whatever they're doing, but you will do your job. You do your job and let Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deal with them by Himself. So let Allah do His work and you do your work, which is فَذَكِّرْ. فَذَكِّرْ. You will remind, you will remind people again and again, so you will continue to do that. إِنَّ نَفَعَتِ الذِّكْرَى. Verily, if the reminder should benefit. So we will end and we begin with the beginning of Surah Tariq with the ending of Surah Tariq. The same surah, yeah? Concentrate. So address is at the beginning to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the same thing is at the ending. So anyone else who is not mentioned, like no one else is mentioned in the line, yeah? So no one else has any importance than Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his followers. Those who are on the path of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they have importance in the sight of Allah. The rest of them are ignored. Like how you ignore a naughty child, how you ignore a person who is just saying rubbish, yeah? Does that make sense? And at the beginning, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that Allah, like everything has a guardian, yeah? In kullu nafsin lamma alayha hafiz. And in here, Allah, at the end, Allah says Allah has a plan. Does that make sense? A guardian and a plan at the end. Wa akidu kaida. Like how the stars are the beauty and portion of the sky, yeah? Same thing. فَمَهِّلِ الْكَافِرَ رَمْهِلْهُمْ رُوَيْدًا. Similarly, you believe that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best of the planner, is the beauty and portion of your iman. So you will trust Allah. Does that make sense? Are we here? Okay. And one favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala which is happening in the beginning is protection. And another favor of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a respite that's been given. And we talked about respite. People can take benefit from it whichever way. So it's your choice. Yeah, you choose whatever you want to choose. Wallahu a'lam. Subhanakallah bihamdik ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. May Allah accept you from you. May Allah keep you with Quran. Jazakallah khair for coming. Barakallahu lakum fil Quran al-azim wa nafa'ani wa iyyakum bil ayati.